back headlining a card. Are you surprised it's come around this quick?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would come back this year. I think that was pretty evident by Dana's reaction and everything, but yeah, to have a quick turnaround in about 4 or 5 months is pretty quick, so I like to stay active, so it's perfect for me.
But it's all going quick now, isn't it? I remember you saying it's
Yes.
going to be step by step, nice and steady. We're 2 years into your UFC career, back-to-back headline shows at London, now working your way into the top 5. I mean, it's going quick, isn't it?
Maybe I was just lying to everyone, saying that I wanted to take it slow. No, I mean, I feel like I'm ready to do this thing, you know what I mean? I'm ready to take out the division, and I think I'm getting there slowly but surely. I just want to keep chipping away, do you know what I mean? I'm not in any rush. I want to get the title when I feel like I'm ready for it, so I'm just going to keep chipping away. I know that Curtis Blaydes is a very, very, very tough fight. Toughest stylistic fight for me in the division, and I'm not looking past that. Let's
go back, talk about the Volkov fight. What kind of comes to mind as soon as you think about that? How do you reflect on it?
I think it was a clean performance from my point of view. There's not many fights that you can have, especially against 6'9", top 5 guys in the world, and not get hit. Like, that's unheard of across all divisions. Like, that's unheard of. So for me to be able to do that, that stands out, the fact that I literally didn't get hit once, didn't have any injuries. Yeah, just an overall clean performance, I think.
It's those sort of moments that I imagine you would have thought about quite a lot when you were younger, headlining a big card, big sellout crowd going crazy for you. Did it feel how you thought it would feel?
I was just completely comfortable, you know. I know it sounds a bit cliche and stuff and a bit corny, but I feel like I was seriously born to do this. I feel like this is what I was put on this earth to do. Like, I'm so comfortable in there, I'm so comfortable with the whole media thing, the walkout, the people. I'm comfortable with everything. Like, I feel like I was supposed to be there on that night, and I'm supposed to be there, you know, in July. So I just feel like this is what I do.
So presumably, if you take this all in your stride, it didn't take you that long to sort of come back down to earth after the high of that?
It was a big high. I'm not gonna. It took me a few weeks, to be honest. It took me a few weeks. Massive, massive high. Because it was my first one in front of a crowd as well, especially being a home crowd with 20,000 people screaming, like, that will bring you up there. So yeah, it took me a little while to get back to it, but it does anyway. Fighting in front of just fighting somebody, don't matter in front of anybody, is it's a big thing to deal with mentally. Like, you have to really take yourself into a different place mentally, so it takes a little while to come back to normal.
So how come we ended up with this fight? Because after the Volkov fight, you mentioned Tai Tuivasa. Yeah. What an exciting fight that would have been for the fans. How come we didn't end up there?
Well, the only reason that I wanted to fight Tai, because at the time, Blaydes had a fight, I think, a couple of weeks after mine. I don't really know what was happening with, like, everybody else seemed to have something going on, and Tai had just come off a big win as well, and I just thought it made sense, like, me and Tai. So I don't really know what happened with that. I don't know. The UFC told me that no one wanted to fight Curtis, and no one wanted to fight me, so they asked me, do I want to fight Curtis, and I jumped at it. Like, I'll fight anybody, so I'm happy with that.
How highly do you rate Curtis Blaydes?
I think he's the toughest fight in the division, for me.
How come?
Just his style. I think, obviously, he's a very, very good wrestler, very strong on top, but I think he blends his striking and wrestling together so well. He's really dangerous with his hands and his kicks as well. Like, I just think he's very, like, I met him in Vegas, and that was before I fought Arlovsky, so no one really knew who I was at the time. I'd had like 2 UFC fights, and I told him, like, Curtis, like, I'm a big fan, I really like what you do and stuff. He probably had no idea who I was at the time, and I think he gets overlooked a lot because some of his fights, I wouldn't say they're boring, but he just controls his opponents quite easily. Like, they're not very exciting to watch as a uneducated fan. Like, a lot of the uneducated fans don't like his style because he completely dominates his opponents. So I'm happy to fight him.
If you could take a couple of things from his game, add them to yours, what do you reckon you'd go for?
I think he blends his striking and grappling very well. I think he makes you worry about his takedowns and then lands the punches on you. So that's exactly what I want to do. But I'm a whole different fighter, like, no one. You've got a general idea of what Curtis is going to do most of the time. No one's got any idea of what I'm going to do. Not even me. So That's something I've got over everybody else.
Presumably you saw Curtis's last fight.
Yeah, of course.
What do you make of it?
I think he did amazing. He did flawless performance. You can't say he did anything wrong. Like, he took his time, took the shot when it was there, and he didn't rush. It was perfect.
Presumably you're anticipating more resistance than what you got last time. I mean, how do you think this fight is going to play out?
I'll be ready for a 5-round grind out if he wants to do that. Like, I'm ready for that every time. Do you know what I mean? I've had quite smooth sailing fights in the UFC so far, but every time I'm ready to have an absolute battle. Every time, mentally and physically, I'm ready for it. So I'd like it to be easy, but do I think it will be? No. I think it's going to be one of the toughest fights in my career. You
clearly rate him very highly.
Yeah.
Before the Volkov fight, did you have similar feelings towards him in terms of how big a step up, how big a challenge it would be?
With Volkov?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Volkov... I was pretty sure that Volkov was going to be a really, really tough fight. Like, loads of people was asking me before about an after party and stuff. And I never booked any after party or anything like that because I was pretty sure I was going to be in the hospital. I thought I was going to win the fight, but I was pretty sure I'd have some broken bones, some cuts, or any, that kind of stuff. So I thought me and Volkov was going to have an absolute battle because Volkov is very durable, very skilled. He fought everybody, and I just didn't think it would go quite that smoothly.
So what are the sort of feelings you get when you think about this potential Blaydes fight and how it could go? Is it nerves, excitement? Is there some fear in there?
Oh, I'm scared,
what
mate.
Is it?
I'm scared every time.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm all right with it. Like, that fear makes me, like, incredibly sharp. Sharper than I could be without it. So I need it. Like, the more scary the opponent, the better I perform. You just got to look at my last fight. Fighting one of the scariest guys in the division with Volkov. 6'9", Russian guy. He actually had twice as many knockouts on his record than I have fights. And you can look that up. So, like, I was scared fighting him. And people do extreme things when they're scared. People have superhuman powers when they're scared. People run like twice as fast when they're in danger, and like, I feel like that fear just helps me, and I think that's something that I've tapped into that not many fighters have. People try and battle with the fear, and I just go with it and I use it.
You mentioned there the number of knockouts that Volkov had. You've talked about how much of a fan you are of Curtis Blaydes. You actually do pay attention, don't you, to the rest of the division? And
yeah, of course.
It might sound, you say of course, but not everyone does. Not everyone's studious.
I think that's silly. Like, why would you not pay attention to the guys you're going to fight? I don't pay attention to the other divisions that much. Like, I just watch it as a casual fan. But to my own division, I know everybody. I know what the strengths are, what the weaknesses are, what they're good at, what they're bad at, what I could do to them, what they could do to me. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't want to know that kind of stuff.
Let's just do a hypothetical here. Okay. You come through July 23rd. Where do you go? Have these conversations been had?
I think my mind works quite different to a lot of the other fighters. For me, the 24th of July right now doesn't exist in my mind. It doesn't exist. I'm not even joking. Like, I can't look past what I've got in front of me. Like, I would never look past any opponent. Not just Curtis Blaydes, any opponent. I just don't look past them. I know how dangerous these guys are with small gloves on. Being 6'4", 6'5", 260 pounds, like, it's silly to look past anybody, so I'm not looking past that. But
there's nowhere to go, surely, after that, apart from Cyril Gane, Tuivasa, Stipe, Jones.
Whatever. I'll cross that bridge, mate, when it comes to it. Until then, I'm not interested in any of that stuff.
Is it strange operating in a division now where you don't quite know who the number one guy is? We don't really know what's going to happen with Francis, do we? Your gut feeling, how do you think this kind of plays out?
Again, not interested. Not interested. What I'm interested in is beating Curtis Blaydes, and that's it. Like, I'm not bothered, but they're all doing their own thing. To me, no one else in the division right now exists. Not bothered about it. Bothered about beating Curtis Blaydes. That's it.
I just want to end with a bit of a cruel one here.
Okay.
Top 5 pound for pound UK MMA fighters right now.
Oh, right now. Active right now. I think Leon Edwards takes number 1. Definitely. I think he flies under the radar big time, and I think Leon Edwards is really, really good. Oh, you probably put me on the spot there. I could do with a list. Couldn't I?
Take your time.
I mean, Darren Till's fought for a title. He's fought some really, really high level competition. He's been on a bit of a downward slide, obviously, but I think he definitely he's a really, really good fighter. So think he would be number 2. He's accomplished way more than anybody else, as in UK MMA who's active right now. So I put myself at number 3. I would put someone else, Arnold Allen, number 4, and I put Jack Shaw at number 5. Jack Shaw, let me say, I'll say this on camera, is amazing, and he needs to start getting some recognition. Like, the guy's so skilled and in every area, and I think he massively flies under the radar. So I'm a big fan of Jack Shaw.
Where do you think he can end up?
I think he can be a champion.
Yeah.
Definitely. If he keeps going, he's in a very tough division. Like, in the heavyweight division, it's pretty much wide open. Like, if you want me to speak honestly, I think it's only the top 15 who are really any good, to be honest with you, in the heavyweight division. In the bantamweight division, they're all so skilled. But I think he can be, if he chips away, starts beating ranked guys, which he's definitely capable of, I think he can definitely win a title.